Hey guys, it's Tiny Tom Logan back with another video for you, and today we're going to be taking a look at, you may think, a strange one, especially this late in its lifespan, but this is a GTX 570 from Inno3D, and it's actually part of their game pack range. Now I'm going to talk about the contents of the box really more in the conclusion, but we're going to take a good look at the card. It does come with all the kind of normal accessories that you'd expect, but it also comes with a set of speakers. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take a good look at the card. We're going to take do some benchmarking, so we can take a look at it both clocked and overclocked. Do some gameplay. I've also done some separate Battlefield 3 footage with this card as well. And then right at the very end, we'll do a conclusion and then we'll wrap up and see what we think. Right then peeps, just a quick look at the card itself. White fan actually does look quite nice. And it's gloss white as well. I actually really like the fan. There we go, it's going again. Right, the shroud itself is very similar to the 560-448, whereas it's actually smoked acrylic, not just black acrylic. We're obviously running it in our 2011 bench rig, because that's what we're testing everything on at the moment. I've got to say, it's not the best looking card in the world. It's not the worst either. It has got a blue PCB, which is going to annoy a lot of people, as you can see there. But for those of you that just want a graphics card that's going to work and not necessarily that fussed about aesthetics, but then again, some of you may like it. I know somebody instantly, the second they saw it, really likes that orange stripe down it. So I suppose it's just a matter of opinion. But from that angle, I don't think it looks too bad. It's just a shame more fans don't come with more cards don't come with white fans. Yes, I did just shove my finger in it just to show you it spin up again so you can catch that glossy bit on it. I think it does look quite nice. Something I will say as well is it is fairly quiet as well. It's a much better performing shroud than the 560-448. It is actually quite quiet. It's only really if you've got it in your rig and you've been gaming for hours and your room warms up and stuff like that. But it's only really once the fan speed goes past about 50%, it generally stays between about 38 and 45, and it's fairly quiet then. If you've got, you know, a selection of case fans, you're probably not going to hear it. As you can hear at the moment, it's pretty quiet. I'll lean in just so that you can hear. It's really not loud at all. It's definitely not the loudest thing on the test bench. I can probably hear my main rig behind me more than I can this. So in that respect, it's fairly good. And like I said, when stressed during gaming, it doesn't really get intrusive at all. So yeah, with all those things ticked off, I guess it's time now for us to go and have a look at some benchmarks. Right then peeps, on to some 3D Mark 11 results. On the left we've got the stock results, on the right we've got the overclock results for the same card, and that's the only thing that we've changed is the core speed on the card itself, as I showed you before with the overclock settings. Right, so on the left we've got a P-score of 6,326. And then on the right, we've got a P-score of 6,747. So a good 400 point boost there, just from overclocking the graphics card, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, so what we're going to do now is move on quickly to the X score. Okay, on to the X score. So we've got an X score of 1973 for stock, and then overclocking the card, it bumps it up to 2122. So another good 300 point boost there, 200 point boost, I do apologise. Well, near enough. Just with a simple GPU overclock. So what we're going to do now is take a quick look at the Vantage stock and overclock scores. Okay peeps, on to the first of the Vantage scores. We got 25,777, just like a fruit machine for the stock result. and then we got 27,139 for the overclock result. So again, yet another fairly healthy boost there with just wanging the graphics card up a little bit. Let's see how much of a difference it makes if we wang it into the X mode. Right then peeps, 3D Mark Vantage X score, 12,232 for stock, and then that got bumped up to 13,137 for the overclock, so a good 1,000-point boost there. Only one thing for it now really, and it's time to break out Unigine. Right then peeps, this is Unigine, and as we always do with this, it's just an open and run. We don't change any of the settings or anything. So for stock, we got a FPS of 48.4, and that was with a minimum frames per second of 29.1 and a maximum of 112.4, but that gives us an overall score of 1219. By overclocking the card, that put our frames per second up to 50.9. An overall score of 1283, and then the minimum frames per second went up a little bit actually to 30.5, and the max was 119.8. So yet more good scores for Unigine. What we're going to do now is break into a bit of gaming, but please look at the standalone Battlefield videos we've done for this card. But we're going to do some Dirt and some Metro and some Mafia 2, that was the word I was trying to look for. So stay tuned for some gameplay. So we're going to do a slightly different Dirt 3 track today, just for a bit of variety. Straubs is playing before you think I've lost the will to live.
Not that bad.
You're not that good either.
That's what I was.
Anyway, at the top, that's Afterburner for all the noobs. Even though I say this in every video, I still get people asking. I'm starting to wonder why I bother. But anyway, you can see the temperature up there, the GPU usage, and the fan speed across the top line in that order. Then the amount of video memory being used, and then the frames per second. And as you can see, 70 frames per second, 39% fan speed, as good as damn it, maxing the graphics card out most of the time, with a fairly healthy high 70s to 80s frames per second. Straubs thinks he's at the fun fair playing bumper cars. Anyway, 2 minutes of this is enough to make me feel sick, so I'm not going to make you guys endure any more of it. I think we're going to move on now and do a bit of Batman, and then maybe do a bit of Metro as well. Right then, on to a little bit of Batman. We'll just kind of fly around and do this. With the game completely maxed out. It obviously still needs patching and fixing. We can't really do anything about it, but it is quite a popular game. I know loads of people that still play it. So we'll just have to live in hope that things get fixed. But for now, this is the performance that you would get with this card. Oh, and there was me thinking he was doing graffiti. Can't you put the squirty stuff on walls and make it interesting? I said, blow the bridge up.
No, I can't do that.
Oh, that's boring. Why does he keep standing on lampposts? Does he think he's a pigeon?
I believe he thinks he's a bat.
I've never seen a bat stand on top of a lamppost. Pigeons, seagulls, I've seen sit on lampposts. Never a bat. Not that way up, anyway. Anyway, lads and lassies, this is enough. So what we're going to do now is move on and take a look at the performance in Metro 2033. So, Metro 2033, everything dialed up to the max, 1920 by 1080 on the good old 570. I've never quite understood why Straubs finds it imperative to shoot the light out when we're trying to do a video recording to show you guys what it plays like. Other than being able to see the fraps thing in the top left hand corner, not fraps, Afterburner thing in the top left hand corner a little bit better, you can't see shit all else. So maybe we'll just stare at Straubs instead. Hello, supermodel. Oh, he's got a red. That's why they call him Strawberry. No, not done yet. Has anybody ever seen Kevin and Perry? Zoom, zoom, zoom. Anyway, that's that done. Right then guys, on to the conclusion. Start off with the award and then I'll explain why. We're going to give it a gamer's choice. It was a bit of a toss-up between a bronze award and a gamer's choice. We decided to give it kind of like the complimentary gamer's choice award. Now, I said at the beginning I'd talk about the speakers that were in the box, and they're here. And they look very Apple. They've got blue LEDs in the back, and then that kind of lights the front up. I've got to admit, I really think these are immensely tacky. They've got a USB connector and a 3.5mm jack thing. I just don't like them. They don't sound very nice. They look all right. Do you know what I mean? They're not offensive, but it just looks like something you'd pick up cheap in your local electrical store on a whim for your iPod or something. This just looks like some cheap kind of, you know, I don't know, like $10 iPod, $15 iPod thing. Really don't like them at all. And I think it kind of makes the rest of the card and everything feel pretty cheap. I wouldn't use these on my computer at all. If you've got a really stupidly basic PC and you need something like this, you're probably not going to have bought the card. And I certainly don't think anyone that would buy a 570 would be putting these in their shopping basket themselves. So before I go absolutely mad, I'm going to take these off of the computer and move them out of the way, because I really don't like them. The fact that that's even in the box confuses me. I know it's generally that you end up with like a mouse or something in with a card like that, but that type of speakers thing I really don't understand. Because I think anyone that's, like I said, that's going to have bought these is probably, you know, buying a 570 is probably going to have a reasonable set of speakers or a pretty good set of headphones, and aren't really going to need that. So doesn't really make any sense to me. Right, now the card itself. It's above average, to be perfectly honest with you. The cooler is good, but it's not brilliant. The performance is good, but it's not brilliant. The actual overclocking side of it, again, it was good. Above average, but not brilliant. I've definitely seen a lot of worse cards, but it's just not going to set your world alight. The aesthetics is kind of the same type of thing. I can see a lot of you out there, it's going to be the type of card that it's for those people of you out there that aren't really that fussed about aesthetics. Maybe don't give a monkeys about cable tidying. Maybe you haven't got a window in the side of your case. Do you know what I mean? You just want to buy something that you can fit and forget, and having something that looks like it was designed by some, you know, like a rocket scientist or someone with a machine shop in their back garden that got bored. This isn't going to be for you, but for the people out there that, like I said, just want something that they can buy, fit, forget, and it's going to work, it will do you perfectly fine. I honestly think most people won't even bother overclocking this, but with the thing with the Nvidia cards is they do respond really well to a bit of tweaking. Even if you leave the volts at stock and just overclock it to the point where it's still stable for your games, you'll still see a fairly healthy boost. So it's definitely something that you should be considering. Something that I will say, and it's something that one of the reasons why I wanted to do this now, is if you shop about, yes, the 500 series cards, so the 560, 570 and 580 cards are kind of coming to the end of their lives now, because we know we're going to be having replacements soon. But the reason why it's a good time to be doing stuff like these, or looking about for cards like these, is because prices are going to start falling on their back ends, and we'll talk about it as an Inno3D, but it works for all brands, because retailers are starting to get to the point now where they know new cards are coming. We all know new cards are coming. We can't say when. We know stuff's coming. I know when the NDA is. I've signed the forms already. But the reason why I'm saying to you about these is because, like I said, retailers are going to want to get rid of their stock. So prices will fall knowing that these cards are, you know, like the newer cards are coming. So now is the time to grab something like this if you you're looking for a bargain, because there's still a lot of performance in a 570 for the price that they deliver. The new cards are going to be expensive. Don't go thinking you're going to get any bargains with the new stuff. It's going to be for people with big wallets. Or people, do you know what I mean, that robbed banks, live off of mummy and daddy's trust fund, all that kind of stuff. For the kind of the average kind of Joe, maybe people that have got a family, responsibilities, don't necessarily, you know, win the lottery, you know, have mega bucks in their pay packet every month. Now's the time to start looking at these type of things. So it's kind of, I know the review's a bit late. I know the comments are going to be full of people saying that kind of stuff, but this is kind of my way of saying to you, these cards still perform really, really well. And if you shop about, you're going to be able to get yourself a bargain. And I do mean a bargain as well. I love 570s, which is why I've been using the stock OEM 570 on my bench rig since the day I got it, because it's awesome. And it's a nice middle of the road card as well. So definitely keep that in your brain banks. Start looking about now. The shops might not have amazing deals right at this second, but in a couple of weeks' time or a month's time, things are going to start to come down. So it's something to keep in your brain bank. So when you're bored at the weekend, just go and have a look for those deals. Also, something to keep, and this is not necessarily something I should be talking about considering we're reviewing a new product, but when the new cards come, a lot of people will be selling their old cards. And again, that's a good time, because I make the videos for the people that watch the videos, not for the people that actually send me the products. I do them a favour by reviewing their products, but I make the videos for you guys. So when the new cards come out, again, that could be the time for you to pick up an absolute bargain by getting something that somebody's had for a, you know, like a year or so beforehand, and getting yourself something even cheaper then. But these are all the type of things that now you should be thinking about. But I'm going to leave this here because, like I said, the Inno3D Gamer's Choice Award, brilliant card. Like I said, it's not going to set your world alight, but it'll tick all your boxes, and it'll probably tick a few that you didn't realise that you wanted as well. Like I said, it's not going to break any records, but it will do you really well and serve you really well. But the thing is to start shopping around, because the prices on these things are going to start falling on their back end pretty soon. So for now, at least, for the second or the third time I filmed this conclusion, trying to get what I had in my head out the right way without throwing speakers on the floor, this is Tiny Tom Logan with another video for you, out.